His predecessor in the race to win the French presidency, Emmanuel Macron, launched a lawsuit over online rumors that he has a secret bank account in the Caribbean. Prosecutors in Paris have opened an investigation after he complained. The news came after pro-EU middle-class candidates were seen as leading the final televised debate before voting Sunday. His far-right foe, Marine Le Pen, mentioned the claims in the debate. He replied, "That is defamation." Quotation mark. On Thursday, a Macron assistant told the AFP news agency, "We will not hesitate to prosecute fraudulent counterfeiters for libel." Quotation mark. The prosecutor's inquiry issued a clear message that anyone repeating the allegations could be brought to court, said BBC's Hugh Schofield in Paris. Allegations of a secret bank account spread online on right-wing websites and on social media. Speaking on French radio Thursday, Macron called the allegations fake news and lies and said some sites spread them as related to Russia's interests. Quotation mark. His supporters say that some places have supported US President Donald Trump. In other developments on Thursday, former US President Barack Obama has confirmed Macron in a videotape, praising his liberal values and saying that he behaved with the hope of the people, not their fear. Protesters shouted with the Nazis throwing eggs at Le Pen while she was campaigning in Brittany. The bodyguard covered her head and took her away. The father of the FN co-founder Jean-Marie Le Pen, who took her in 2015, said he thought maybe she was not an important factor in the TV debate. He is referring to allegations of fraud from the European Parliament to FN's party staff. The FN denied the allegations that they had paid employees who did not actually work for MEP members, and Le Pen said she was a victim of a politically motivated university student. Mr. Macron and Mrs. Le Pen debated in 2 hours in the hopes of gaining voters. She lambasted him on his record as economic minister in the socialist government, a post he quit to form his march on, and accused him of being a candidate for a brutal globalization. Quotation mark. In turn, Mr. Macron said Ms. Le Pen had publicly lied, offered nothing and exaggerated public fears. Le Pen accused him of being complacent about the radical Islamist terrorist threat. In response, Mr. Macron said the measures she proposed eliminate Islamic Islamism by closing the Islamic holy shrine and deporting preachers of hatred, were solid. Has fallen into the hands of terrorists and their desire for a civil war. Quotation mark. Both candidates are expected to impress 17% of undecided voters in the first election the country has held without candidates from traditional orthodox parties. BFM TV conducted a poll suggesting the debate viewer had a more favorable view of Mr. Macron than Mrs. Le Pen in most categories. He was the most persuasive of the 63% of respondents. Mr. Macron is also considered the most persuasive of the two-thirds vote for both left-leaning candidate Jean-Luc Mélenchon in the first round, and 58% of those voting for the Republican François Fillon. Macron also led the polls when they were asked which candidates were the most honest, most in line with the voters' value, and had the best plans. The BFM TV poll was conducted among 1,314 people over the age of 18 who watched the debate on television. French newspapers have been opposed by open hostility displayed in the Wednesday night debate. Le Figaro saw Le Butler having a total war strategy, including bombing the enemy without resting. Mr. Macron said, "Dominate his opponents on economic issues in an unprecedented brutal debate." Liberation accuses Ms. Le Pen of sinking the debate in a collapse of false information and giving a list of what it says are false statements or exaggerations. Le Monde also resolutely went down next to Macron, who said repeatedly condemned as meaningless by the National Front candidate, usually right. Quotation mark. Le Égos has a problem with the active tone of the debate, stating that candidates spend more time attacking each other than explain future reforms.